on, everyone? How's everybody doing? Check that out. What? You love that? Happy Monday. All right. Let me know how I sound. I always like my sound check, audio check out there for everyone that's watching. But welcome. Welcome. It's Monday. Okay. So, we're here to talk about mental health, disability, and trauma to create conversations, acceptance, and opportunities. I'm so excited to be here with you every Monday. Trigger warning, as sometimes we discuss things that are difficult and mature in nature. And it's important to share these experiences as they are our own, but they can really benefit someone else. So let's see. All right, sounds great. Love it. Thank you for the check back. Okay. Again, we're here to kick off another week. I'm your host, DJ, visual descriptor. I'm a female Latina brunette with silver streaks. I have olive skin, brown eyes. And today I'm wearing a white shirt and I got my smile, positive affirmations. So thank you everyone for being here. I really want to take a moment to acknowledge the loss of women's constitutional reproductive rights, family planning, and essentially our body autonomy. So that's really weighs heavy on my heart as we're going through this here in the USA. And maybe I will do a show on that. Maybe we'll have a topic of discussion on that because that's important. That's really important. So, but thank you again, everyone that's here. Please, if you're new to my show, subscribe, support my work. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and I'm so excited for everyone that's checking in, all my friends and my familia out there, all our audience members that are hanging out with us tonight in the chat. I'm so excited to bring out our guests. We're going to have a really good conversation and talk about some mental health stuff, health and wellness. I'm really excited to talk about that. I want to thank Restream very quickly. Thank you for powering this live stream and putting out our show. And I would like to say that I'm excited. I want to leave this open for sponsorships. If you would like information on sponsoring this show, my show, Let Your Mayhem Be Known, please let me know. Send me a message, connect with me on social media, and we can have a chat. Season 4, woohoo, season 4 will be beginning soon. We are halfway through the year. I can't believe how quickly time goes by. So we really want to get some sponsorships for season 4. So if you're interested, please reach out. It helps pay for the production costs and all the time and energy that goes in and just all our resources that we use. And so I appreciate it. Let's see. Okay, let's get to our guest. I don't want to make him wait much longer. I'm really excited to have him. As soon as I met him, I knew I needed to have him as a guest. Something in the universe told me. So today we're going to talk about wellness with a new friend of mine, John Katsavos from Bio Fitness, Toronto. He's lifelong martial artist. He's certified personal trainer. He's a wellness counselor, podcaster. I'm just so excited to hear about his story. He is an expert in simple solutions to get healthier, help people get healthier and live happier and fuller lives. He spent 38 years in martial arts, 30 years working out, understanding personal training and fitness. He believes in transformation and assisting individuals to reach their goals in a natural and holistic way, which I absolutely love. He believes in systematic small adjustments, something that I also believe in. Part of his story includes depression and attempts of suicide, and we will talk about that a little bit. Losing his dream business and having to start all over again. He's found the connection between the physical, mental, spiritual in a very interesting way. And he has his podcast, the Oracle Fitness Podcast. And he recently created Resilient Reboot Productions, which I want to reboot productions that I want to hear all about. Okay, I'm done talking. I'm so excited. Let's bring him out.
Hi, DJ. How are you?
John, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for bringing your knowledge and your experience and your story today.
Well, thank you for having me. It was I love the second I met you at Podfest, I'm like, I gotta have DJ on my show because I love her energy. So when you asked me to come on the show, on your show, I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yes, thank you so much. We have a lot of, I like to say things that I feel connect us, similarities. So I kind of said that in your introduction, those things that I was like, oh, I love this. And the more I got to know you and do my research on your in your bio and your background, and I was just like, wow, this is going to be a really great conversation. And I can't wait to hear everything you have to offer and bring. So let's get to the chat real quick. Let's welcome the chat. Mackenzie, best mod ever, doing awesome today. Thank you so much. Appreciate you checking all the channels. We are kicking it off. I know. Jenny. Hi, Jenny. Say hi to our guest, John. I got a good question for him soon. Almost everywhere. Yes. Let's see. Anthony, welcome. Thank you for supporting us in this conversation today. It's I wanted to kind of talk about men's mental health because it's the tail end of June and I know it was men's mental health. And that's kind of why I asked you that question in the pre. Like, did you focus on men's and now you're really opening up to individuals? So that's really great. And I love that you're really expanding yourself. So Diana, thank you for supporting. Regina, I see you in here somewhere and I did not see your name and I apologize. Juana, hi, it's good to see you too. Thank you so much. It's been a minute. Is that everybody? Alexandria, Dr. Alex. What's up, girl? Tuning in from Ohio. I'm really excited. Oh, and Rosemary. Cannot forget Rosemary. How are you? Thank you, everyone, for being here. Fantastic. I'm so glad. Let's keep moving forward with this conversation, John. I'm here for you to hear all about you. We've welcomed our audience, our chat. Chat, get those questions ready because I want to know. We want to know. Oh, okay. So, do tell. Where do we start? Where's John's stories really start?
Um, I guess the whole story, especially when it came to martial arts, was I was a skinny, scrawny little kid, and my dad didn't want. Growing up in the '80s, my dad didn't want me to be picked on. So in Toronto, it was. I lived in a rough neighborhood in Toronto, and the school that I went to, if you didn't know how to defend yourself or defend the people that you cared about, you'd get picked on real easily and real quickly. So I went. My dad put me into Shotokan karate. I spent about 4 years doing that. Um,
How old were
I
you?
I ended it because I was a little bit. My ego got fluffed a little bit too much, if you will.
Okay.
But it's interesting because the sensei that I had, he was a Japanese immigrant from Okinawa, and he brought
Wow.
karate to Toronto. Well, his form of karate to Toronto, and he was very old school. I'm not going to go into too much into that,
Hmm.
but let's see. Like, where else do you want me to start? Like, I've been
Oh, no.
bullied in junior
Yeah,
high.
yeah, that's part of, like, your development into your adulthood, right? So, yeah, you can share a little bit about your youth, your adolescence, like you were, and really how you got into martial arts that's really propelled you to have this lifelong passion of wellness and health and finding your own health, right? Digging deep and going through everything, but we'll talk a little bit more about that. But you started pretty young then in martial arts.
Yeah, I started, like I said, like 8 years old, and I took a break between 8 and about, I'd say about 22 when I found Muay Thai. I was back in when Muay Thai kickboxing really started to become like really popular from a couple of movies, and I got curious about it, so I tried it, and um,
Okay.
when they saw that how quickly I picked up all the combos and everything, and I talked to them about my past and my history, they're like, "Okay, let's see if you're gonna do some competitions." And I was like, I did the competitions when I was like 10. Like, I don't want to do competitions. Part of the whole reason was I stopped was because of the competitions. I'm like,
Mm.
I mean, okay, when I was like 11, 12 years old, I was getting into competition sparring with black belts,
Ooh.
and I was beating them up. And I went to my sensei. This is where the ego came in at 12 years old. I told my sensei, I'm ready for my black belt. And he's like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I am. He's like, no. you're not. So after months and months and months of me arguing, I'm like, you know what? I've had enough. He got me to do a test and he put a black stripe on my belt. I'm like, what's this? Like, honestly, like, come on. And he was like, you're not ready for your black belt. I couldn't get it. I was 12-year-old little runt. I mean, I
Yeah.
couldn't get it. You know,
So you were being picked on and bullied outside, but in this area, in this space, you felt confident, right? And you were starting to grow.
the um, the bullying happened in junior high school. It was right when I started to get into junior high school because my dad saw the skill that I had as a martial artist and how well I could
Um,
fight and defend myself. He's like, okay, he goes, you're going into a different school and a different environment now. Rules are going to change for you. Don't show what you know. Keep it hidden. Keep it suppressed. So I did. So, I'm going to listen to my dad. My dad's advice to me was amazing. So up until that point, and there was this one kid who, after a fight that I actually had in
mm,
with another martial artist in school, uh, he wanted to test himself against me, and I didn't want to fight. I didn't have anything to prove to anybody, and why should I show off? It's not me. It never has been me. So I kept saying no, 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 and then the bullying started. He started taking tacks and sticking them in my legs.
ooh,
Um, he was sitting right beside me, and he would be whispering, I'm going to kick your,
yeah.
after school, and it's like, hey. Plus, I was going through a time where my grandmother was diagnosed with lung
Mm.
cancer, terminal lung cancer. So, and my grandmother was like my second mother to me.
Very close relationship. So yeah, you were going through a lot at that time.
Yes. So it
Wow.
came to the point where I broke down in class. Like the school bell rang, and he wanted to fight me at the end of the day, and I was getting myself ready to fight him at the end of the day, and really, really make an example of him, and for everybody else to stop picking on me. And
Mm,
but it was just the thought of my grandmother in the hospital that really pushed me to break down. And I'm like, and plus all the bullying, it really got to me. And I broke
yeah.
down right in class, as the school bell rang to end the day. And when
Was
I
that
told
really a
them,
really a turning point for you? Is that something like obviously if you're bringing it up, it's something that really kind of stuck with you and really kind of, showed you something you
I think
really
so. I think so because throughout high school I was that loner. I was and not to tell everybody my age, but
oh
and
no.
I was one of Nirvana's first fans, and I just got into high school. So, and Nirvana is a staple band in my life.
Oh, do
So,
tell.
well, it was like the lyrics just spoke to everything that I was living.
Hmm.
Like "Smells Like Teen Spirit," that was me. That was me. And
I
again,
remember.
I hid all my talents in going into high school. So I was a huge loner in high school. My sister was like this popular, bright, shining star, and she still is. I mean, I love my sister to death, and I think she's one of the strongest women I know. And I almost was jealous of her at one point,
Hmm.
because she had all these friends and I had nobody, and I tried to do that, but it was just wasn't me. So I wasn't really
How did you
picked.
continue? Well,
Sorry.
I'm sorry. No, I was just
No, no.
gonna ask you. Are you before you go ahead and finish? But I was just starting to think of like how you just continued on this path of martial arts and staying in that, with those values and what it was bringing to your life, right? Like what it was really providing, and maybe you didn't even really realize it. But finish with your sister.
So yeah, like my sister, like my cornerstone in my life. Like without her, I'm nothing. I couldn't. be doing any of this stuff. She's my number one fan. Um,
sis.
but to answer your question, it's more of, for me, martial arts is more of a way of life.
Mhm.
Like it's not something that, uh, you can switch on and off. It's with you forever. Like the lessons that we teach, the punches that you take, and trust me, I've taken some punches that I have felt like my entire soul left my body. That's how hard I've been punched. I'm not trying to, say I'm something.
Yeah.
I'm just
You've been
explaining
through
my
stuff. Yeah, you've
I've
been
been
through
through a lot of
you've been through a
stuff.
lot.
Um, and it's always just experimentation for me to see, okay, which martial arts do I like? Which martial arts don't I like? So it's more, and I've always loved martial arts. Like I grew up watching Bruce Lee movies. I grew up watching Chuck Norris movies, Van Damme movies. Like I always loved martial arts. The skill, the art, the the commitment it takes to
Yeah,
become
commitment.
next high level. It's or even just to become a teacher. Like I've taught a lot of interesting people, interesting professions.
Oh, you light up when you said that, though. I'm so curious. Okay, okay, yeah. I mean, I
But
can only imagine.
that didn't happen until after, like in my late
With
20s.
experience. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. Like, with experience, right? It's like you continue to gain more, experience, and you've been doing it for a while. You get to know people, in your industry.
And outside the industry, it's quite interesting. The martial arts world is one of those worlds, um, that no matter, like right now, I'm not doing any martial arts because I just
Hmm,
moved countries, and I'm still trying to get my roots here, you know. So
mhm.
it's more of a pause right now, but it's still it's going to come back into my life.
Oh, of course. Like, I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. It's just like you said, a pause. But yeah. And I want to talk a little bit about more of those certifications and some of the stuff that you've really done. I didn't get into the details of your education, but the kettlebell instructor, your certified health counselor. That's what I tried to say in your I mean, you spent a lifetime in this, like, learning so many different things and not just martial arts. I guess that's what I'm getting at. I don't even know what a jumpstart practitioner is, a Czech holistic lifestyle coach, and personal training, which I did say, and people have kind of a general thought of what that looks like or what that is, but you can clarify and give me your experience of, how all that's made, how about you, right? And who you are and how you hold that so close to you, and it's really maintained you, right, throughout your life. Cuz I love sports, I love athleticism. I did play sports in high school. I've wanted my daughter to play sports since she was little, and I've, shared those things. So I really love that kind of conditioning, athletic conditioning, sportsmanship, just the understanding team, right? An individual sport, personal, like pushing yourself personally, right? Your own growth. As a military, you kind of also kind of I think of my military experience when I hear you talking about that conditioning of martial arts and the life, like, what did you say? You just said it's not a lifestyle, it's a lifestyle, right? Like, because it becomes a way of life. That's the way you live your life, whether you're on the, for me it was a flight line, or you're, on base or off base, right? Like, that's part of the lifestyle. So I love all those pieces of commitment and those values that, again, continue to carry you through even the dark moments and the dark stuff that we'll talk about in a little bit later. But it's
Sure.
built your fortitude. I guess
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, it's been, like I said, like my professional fitness career has been a yo-yo effect, if at the best.
Okay.
Um, I mean, to sit here and tell you that it's been all daisies and roses and rainbows and gumdrops, and that's a lie. That's a lie.
Mhm.
Any
Right.
personal trainer out there that says that, it's not easy. It's probably one of the hardest professions that anybody can take on, but I love it. I love looking at the human body and trying to figure out what's wrong with it physically and see what I can do to help make that body be stronger. That's why I have the table back there. That Jumpstart MAT practitioner is gives me that tool set to figure out physically what's wrong with the joint, where's the weak point, and make it stronger. Because if I can make the weakest link stronger, the whole system becomes stronger. And the only way to do it is to put them on that table and figure it out.
Ah.
Ask tons of questions. So that all started in grade 13. I know here in the US, you guys don't have grade 13 or senior.
Mm-mm,
This is
no.
like,
12.
yeah, grade 13 used to be preparation for university. So we would take a 1 year just to prep for university, which I never went to. Well, long story on that one. I never graduated from university or college. Community college, I graduated from, not real college.
Mhm.
Another story, which we'll
I
get
got a
into later.
I got a similar story. I didn't finish grad school. I mean, I get it.
So that was the only class that I was actually going in with a passing grade. The only class. Everything else I was failing. I had physics, calculus,
Ooh.
physics, calculus, algebra, geometry. I had another science and an English and OAC health, grade 13 health. And the only one that I was going into the final exam with a passing grade was OAC health. I was failing everything else and
Mm.
just barely passing English, just barely. So it should have been a sign for me right there to get involved with personal training, but I didn't. I went somewhere else. Anyways, what can you do? I mean, you listen to
Yeah.
other people, what they want from your life. It doesn't vibe with your life and what your strengths are. So
Yeah. Yeah. The ups and yeah. You listen to everybody else but yourself.
to a point, I mean, everybody else the people that are closest to you, I believe, have the best interests for the outcome. But like you said, like you gotta listen to yourself. You gotta trust yourself, because if you don't trust yourself, who are you gonna trust?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Very true.
So it wasn't up until my 30s where I said, you know what, I'm putting my stake in the ground. I want to be a personal trainer. I want to do what I've been loving to do since I was 16 years old, going in the gym, getting myself fit. Not fit right now, but when I was back then.
You're on pause. It's okay. We're on pause.
Everything had to be on pause. I didn't know how hard moving a different country really is. Holy
Oh.
Jesus, it was
Yeah.
tough.
Wow.
But and just seeing the transformation in other people when I first started got me asking more questions. I really wanted to figure out, okay, why is a squat a squat? But what a squat, everybody knows how to do a squat, but why is it different for everybody? Why does everybody experience something different? So I'm always asking these questions when I'm training somebody or when I first meet somebody for as a client. I'm like, okay, you have troubles doing a squat. Why? It's simple to do. You can sit down on a chair, you can stand back up, but you can get 100 people in a room, ask them to do that same movement. You're going to have 100 different variations.
Yeah.
Why? It's the same movement. So one thing led to another, to another, to another, to another. I ended up with the Jumpstart MAT, and I was going to go get a resistance training specialist and going to go get my full MAT, but I didn't feel comfortable doing the MAT specialist program.
I don't know what
Prof-
that is. MAT. What's
MAT,
that?
MAT stands for muscle activation technique.
Okay, muscle activation technique. Okay,
Um,
go ahead.
the Jumpstart program is just doing muscular integrity tests and joint tests in specific directions. So I'm basically asking the body, do you understand how to hold this position? So I'll put an arm out like this and I'll push. Oh, I apologize. I am so
That's
sorry.
okay. Oh no, that's okay. It happens. It's all kinds of like Duke. That's okay, because we're gonna get to a question in the chat, so I'll let you finish what you
I
were
am
saying.
so sorry.
It's okay. It happens. It's totally okay. It's totally okay. No, it happens.
So,
Um, you're talking
um,
about muscle activation. And
yes.
I talk about disability and trauma, right? And I talk about, so you have to incorporate some of that for me. And that's going to lead to the question in the chat. If you get Juana's question, can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to ask that question too, because I'm curious, as
Uh,
someone that loves to talk about disability, loves to talk about inclusion, accessibility, and how do we consider different people with different needs, right? So since this is your level of expertise, I'm going to be
that
looking
is an
for it.
that is an awesome question, Juana.
Okay.
The question is, how do you work with people with limited mobility issues? Are there simple exercises you recommend? Juana, I have worked with somebody that has that had spina bifida, and he was limited to a wheelchair. He only had up to 3% muscular integrity in his lower extremities. So from the waist down, he only had 3% of muscular activation. He could not stand. He had to use struts to stand. He also, like I said, was limited to a wheelchair. I was doing exercises for him that simulated squats and leg presses, and what I call the good girl bad girl machine.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
the and I had somebody actually come up to me and shook my hand and said wanted to congratulate me for the work that I did. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? He's like, no, he goes, everybody would turn this guy down. He goes, you actually are working with him. He goes, I've seen you working with him. You're an inspiration. I go, I'm not the inspiration. That client is my inspiration because he's making me think outside the box.
Hmm.
He's making me think, how does the leg work when he only has 3% mobility?
And for him, his individual need, his individual plan.
Exactly.
So why do I have to tailor
Oh no,
around the machine
I
when I
can't
can
hear.
tailor the machine and the activity around him? So that's what he made me
What's
do.
going on?
I've also worked with the blind, and very early in my
Ah,
career, I worked with a blind person, and that was
oh,
the hardest thing I've ever done. And I loved it. I loved it because it helped me really explain what I was
what's
requesting
on
the
here
client
now?
to do.
Uh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm having audio issues. Now I can't hear you again.
No.
Oh gosh. Okay, John, I know whatever you said I just missed, and I do apologize. I don't know
Okay.
what's now I'm having audio issues, folks. Let me see if this thing jumped on me. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Oh, I hate to miss the end of that story. There we go. Okay, I'm back. I apologize.
No problem.
Okay. Well, hopefully Juana heard your answer.
I
And
hope so.
oh, okay. You sound different to me now too, but we're going to keep rolling.
Okay.
Okay, I can hear him. Okay, Diana. Good girl, bad girl machine. Juana thought that was funny. I love it. I know. I'm so curious. I'm like, "Oh gosh. Oh dear."
So
Um I can hear him. Okay.
The good girl bad girl machine is the good girl machine is the abductor machine, is where you sit
Oh,
down, the legs are out like that and you bring them in together. That
God.
works the abductor group. The bad girl machine is the one where it's reversed, so it goes on the outside of the legs and you open up the legs. It works the adductors. No, the
I don't know.
abductors. I got them mixed up. I apologize.
Oh goodness.
So
His sound did change. Okay, I thought it was just me. His sound did change, but I can hear. Oh, here we go. We're all kinds of having kinds of stuff, so we'll see. His sound did change. Okay, well, you can still hear me. Thanks for your response, John. Incredible work you're doing. Yeah, I don't know about this good girl, bad girl machine. That
it's
sounds very questionable.
it's something that I've nicknamed
I
it.
can
So
hear
it's
you. My God, my sound. It's got to be my sound. It's okay. Oh, this is terrible.
so basically, to end off that question that Juana actually asked is,
Oh gosh.
if you are a trainer and you have the opportunity to work with somebody that's like disabled in
Mhm.
that sense, with limited mobility issues, I say jump on it jump on it, and try to think about how can I stimulate that muscle or that muscle group to what I'm asking it to do without the use of the machine if the client cannot utilize that machine.
I love that. That's what accommodations are all about.
Yeah,
You still want to get the job done. You still want to get that essential function done. It's like, how can we use what we got, continue to do what, and what else can we use? How can we accommodate to still fulfill that need? So, for that individual. So I love that. And it really does encourage and push a personal trainer to look at it in a new perspective and make yourself that much more inclusive and more accommodating, right? To continue to serve a greater amount of people. And I think that even goes back to originally when your business or was essentially tailored and geared towards male, and now you've opened it up towards individuals. So you're really and it's important that we do that, right? Like that we continue to consider all these different types of bodies and different individuals, and not discriminate against that, or because it's your quality of your work, right? It's your reputation of your business. So I know that it's really important to provide a service to everyone, as best you can.
I don't even look at it as adding stuff to my resume.
Yeah.
All I'm doing is feeding my curiosity.
Mm, good.
It's like this is a new interesting piece of the puzzle that I haven't thought about. How can I make this work for this person?
Mhm. Mhm.
Like I said, like I was training somebody who was blind. Try to explain a leg press to a blind person just using your words. It's
Mhm.
impossible. Or show them. You know how you have to show a blind person? You have to touch them, and you
Touch
have
is
to physically show them the direction of what you are asking for. So it's
yeah.
like I said, it's like it makes you think differently about how you're presenting yourself and what you're trying to accomplish.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not easy. There's nothing easy about that. And I know that that prevents people, unfortunately, from doing the right thing and
Yeah.
being, all right, let's see. We're at the 35-minute mark. Oh goodness. All right. So normally I'd be taking my break and saying, all right, we are looking for sponsors, folks. This show wants sponsors. So please again reach out. This would be your spot. Put a little commercial here, a little ad for you and your business. How is that going? Oh, how's that sound? Okay. Again, if you're new, follow subscribe. Silver Fox Talks. I'm on YouTube, Twitch. Thank you, everyone that's here with us for this conversation. Facebook. And I guess that's it. We've talked about suicide a little bit, and we haven't really touched on depression, but that's where we're going to go. Let's talk about some mental health stuff and some of that personal experiences that you've been through. That, like you said, it hasn't been all roses and this and that, whether it was your job, your career, your family, the personal difficulties that we have, our own personal circumstances and situations. So share us a little bit about your experience and your mayhem.
Sure. My entire life has been mayhem. And I love to live in the mayhem. But the part when it first started to get real for me was I was in my mid 20s and I had a great job. It wasn't the best on paper, but I was making a really good salary. I put myself back into university. I was looking to move out on my own. I bought a car that most guys in their early mid 20s cannot afford. And two guys that were under my supervision went and did something on Christmas Eve. They went into a client's residence and client's place of business, and they took they made three coffees, one for each of them and one for me. Making a long story short, I was their supervisor. I got fired because I was under their supervision and I did not report them to my supervisor. And at the time, I didn't understand why, and I was angry. I was very angry. I'm like, I didn't do anything, and I'm getting fired. And it wasn't up until, believe it or not, beginning of last year, where it all clicked into me, and I understood fully that anything that anybody does under my supervision is my responsibility, nobody else's. I have to take extreme ownership for everything that everybody does who is under my supervision. And if they fail, I failed. I failed in communicating to them exactly what would happen. So my supervisor was correct by letting me go. At the time, I didn't see it that way. So I had locked myself in my parents' bedroom, well, my bedroom, which was in my parents' house in their basement. And it was just one downward spiral after another, after another, after another, after another, after another. And it got to the point where I was standing on a bridge thinking about ending my life because I couldn't take it anymore. Before that, I could have picked up my phone, called three guys, and I would have had 30 guys going out. Only two throughout that entire year would check up on me. Only two. I had creditors, debtors, all calling me for their month for late payments. My visa was terrible. My line of credit was horrible. Everything, like whatever bad that you could think could happen to somebody was happening to me in that year. And the conversations I was having in the mirror were, "You're horrible. You're worse than, manure has more value than you in this world. Dirt is higher on the food chain." So you could imagine a year of self-talk like that. What ended up happening? I went to a bridge, thought about ending it, then something happened. I didn't end it.
Good. I'm so glad you're here. We're so glad you're here. And I know this is really important. I put the suicide prevention lifeline. It's 1-800-273-TALK. I always like to, bring attention to this topic if it comes up for individuals in their stories, in the conversation. I can always put the ticker on there too. You can also text hello or NAMI at 741-741. And I found something really interesting. Here, let me change. Oh, I wish I could stop it from ticking, but it says that they're designated a new number, 988. So there's going to be this new suicide prevention number instead of 911. It'll be 988. It's coming out in July here. Isn't that great? Instead of having to memorize the one or having that 1-800 with the number. So I just thought that that was July 16th, 2022. They're going to start using that number. So it really is important to talk about these experiences. And was that the one in isolated time?
When it came to the time to the thought about committing suicide, no. I'd be lying to you if I said yes. It's something that you actually have to fight through every day.
Yeah.
But, you know, as the years gone by, as the decades have gone by, it's become easier to deal with those thoughts. So, and like looking back at it, I developed like a cool little system to help me get out of that stuff. And that's what I'm trying to teach guys and now the ladies out there to, you know, some simple tricks and tips that I've done over the past 20 years. And it wasn't easy. I've been through a lot and I'm going to go through more. I know, but I know how to deal with it now. Well, to a point.
So that leads me to the question, because you've already shared that you have paused the martial arts. You've paused a lot of going to the gym, right? As you've moved, you've already shared that it's been very difficult changing countries. So I can imagine right now, even today, as you sit here, right? Like it's difficult. You're probably not in the best space in the sense because you're missing a lot of that martial arts. Change is difficult. Transitions like that, the loss of familiarity, your old neighborhood, your friends and families. Just so, gosh, my heart goes out to you. I'm sure you're using a lot of those skills right now. I think you even wrote a post recently on your Facebook about how difficult it's been for you. And I think, that was something that you shared.
I have still like I still deal with a lot of anger issues. Like I'm not like all smiley all the time like I am here because I
Yeah.
enjoy being on here. But like especially when it comes to thinking about what's back home, like dealing with all that stuff, like looking back, I'm like, I don't ever want to go back there. Like I'm happy here. Not all the time,
Yeah.
but majority of the time I'm happy here. So why would I go back to a place that actually caused me so much pain, so much anguish, so much suffering for 40 plus years when I have a fresh start here and I can start proper and happy here? So that's the way I'm looking at it. So that's the one tool that I'm currently trying to really, really, really solidify with everything that I'm doing is um, positive reinforcement and projection, calling it like well, I know, but in Zealand calls it creating new frames of your life.
Hmm.
So that's one of the tools that I use that I'm currently using, and it's helping. It's helping quite a bit.
Yeah, okay, that's good. I mean, again, all these things you've been through, like you said, things are going to go through, right? Life doesn't stop. These are conversations that will continue. Conversations that can be very familiar to other people, and that's why I feel they're important to have. Let's see. And thank you for sharing some of those processes or some of those strategies that you do use to overcome these challenges, even while you're in the thick of it or you're in a point that you're going through something that is not you where you wish you were, right? Where you wish you would be, but it's
Yeah,
what you're working towards. So
yeah.
let's see how to the chat real quick. Enrique, what's up, Wepa? Welcome. Thanks for popping through. Oh, and Nicole just popped in. I wanted to say hi to Nicole. Thank you for saying hello. Diana says, thank you for sharing, John, your story in regards to mental health. It's really important. There's just so many things going on for different people in different ways that affects them. You just never know who it is and how they're being affected from mental health. Suicidal ideations is something that I'm familiar with in my home from a loved one. So for me, that's something that I'm very want to talk about, that prevention, just understanding the compassion that you have to have for individuals, and how valuable that is, and just having the conversation. So very valuable to so many. Thank you so much, Mackenzie. Let's see. What Andrew had said previously when you were sharing your story that that's why it's not your fault at your job. Look at your reaction. So thank you for sharing, Andrew, and providing some words to the conversation and contributing. So gosh, I don't want to keep jumping all over the place. But
Let's do it.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. And these conversations are important. I want to talk about your podcast. I want to mention the Oracle and this little card I got of you from Podfest.
I forgot so many things to put on that thing. I got printed out like 500 of them.
Yeah, I wrote your name on there, and then I was trying to figure out your phone number and but I wasn't gonna say that.
You should have. You should have. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. It's all good.
All right. So, so this was good. Tell us a little bit about your fitness oracle, and then I want to know about this reboot. Your resilient. I want to talk about that and what inspired that, what that is exactly.
Okay. So the fitness oracle I created in 2000, July of 2020. I had just finished a course with somebody to create an online business because the pandemic hit the fitness industry too hard, and I couldn't touch anybody for 2 years, and my whole current job was to touch people. So I had to figure out how am I going to take this physical thing and put it online so I could sell it. And the Fitness Oracle came in response because I heard about what was going on in Toronto at the time with the increase in men's mental health problems, addictions, suicides, and PTSD and loneliness. And I'm like, all the stuff that's gone on in my past, I know my answers, and I know that if I could share them with somebody and how important exercise and martial arts was in my past, that if I could share it with somebody and they can pick up something like a tool from one person, that they could actually not do something that cannot be undone again, right? Because why not do it? Why not be that voice for them? Why not be that whisper in their ears saying, this person had to do this. I had a person who died and came back to life, and she shared her experience with us.
Wow.
Way early in my show. So it's like if somebody could listen to that and say, you know what, well, that's what's waiting for me on the other side, and now she's helping, empowering people to find their purpose in life. Well, what's my purpose? Can't be just this. I have a purpose.
Yes.
What is it?
What is it? What is it, John?
Oh, my purpose, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that
out. Oh gosh, ain't that the truth? For so many. Okay. What makes you feel, I know, what makes you feel inspired? Like, what makes you stay in your best self?
What makes me stay in my best self? My nephews.
Aww.
My nephews. I love playing with them. I love playing hide and seek. I love playing Minecraft with them. Marvel Legos. I love crashing and just watching Star Wars with them, or just by myself. That's basically it. It's I don't have kids of my own, so
basically it. That's a lot. Like the creativity, the imagination, letting loose, going back to that simplicity and that innocence, right?
Yeah.
There's something about that.
Laughing at yourself.
Laughing
at yourself at silly things. Do silly things and then laugh at yourself. Like that's the one thing that actually has helped me so much in the past. It was like a line from Van Wilder, the movie Van Wilder. Don't take life too seriously. You'll never get out of it alive.
There you go. Okay, all right. So let's talk about Reboot Productions, right? Resilient Reboot Productions.
Right.
Sounds
So,
like you got a lot of resiliency in you.
oh, thank you. I basically wanted to create a company that had the Fitness Oracle podcast and VO Fitness, the fitness programs. So I created Resilient Reboot Productions as more of on the lines um, as an umbrella company where I can take all the companies, just put them in there, and just make sure that everybody can go to one place instead of like 15 different places and get all the content, whether it be my online fitness programs, the podcast, or whatever new stuff that I'm actually trying to produce later
Yay!
on.
You got to be fun. You got to be creative. You got to get outside the box, get out of your head. I mean, it's something I struggle with. I continue to, you got to not, what is that phrase? Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Oh,
I don't like being comfortable.
you don't like being comfortable. I'm used to,
No.
yeah, no. Andrew, I love this. I like to roll my eyes at myself. That's great. Me too. Oh God. Let's see. Anything else? Any last questions, chat? We're gonna start closing up this conversation. I'm so appreciative of everyone that's been hanging out with us tonight and taking in John and your experience, your story, and a little bit about your background and your beliefs. You want to talk woo woo? Anything woo woo you want to share? I mean, spirituality speaking, digging into that, your faith, right? Using your faith to keep you going. And how do you
Faith,
suggest people can apply faith, or how have you applied faith to your life in these situations you've talked about in your
faith
main?
has been a big part for me. Like I'm Greek Orthodox, so it's like a really, really old and really, I wouldn't say really strict way of looking at Catholicism. It's a different way of looking at it. Um, I've had my own experiences with it, which I can't explain. Um, I'm not the type of person to push my way of belief systems on other people. I believe that you grew up with whatever you grew up with, and you should honor that. Um, whatever you want to call that one connecting creator that has connected all of us. I call him Jesus Christ. You can call him whatever you want, and I honor that. I just want to get that out of the way because I know it could be a sticky point.
Yeah, no, this is about you and really what's.
But I remember the first time I went for my confession. I was 32 years old, and I went to a monastery here in the U.S., Greek Orthodox monastery. And I'm like, okay, let's see what this is all about. I've heard stories of other people. They went into confession. They felt like they were walking on clouds, kind of thing. Like, yeah, let's see. So I went, and I literally felt like I was walking on clouds. And I was having an amazing day, like the best day of my life. And the next day I went to Systema, which was the martial arts that I was taking, which is Russian martial arts. And I was, that day, the instructor was doing punches, strikes, and pulled me aside because I was moving amazing. Like I was like, I've never moved like this before in my life. Like I was like on fire. Pulls me aside, starts hitting me, starts punching me in the back. And we have this saying in Christianity that seven most powerful words in language are, Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on me, a sinner. So I was repeating that inside my head,
Mhm.
and it literally, I literally felt like I was like a tree trunk, and there was no pain. Like I didn't feel any pain. I don't like telling this story because people think I might be, over exaggerating stuff and stuff like that. But it really happened. Like I did not feel pain, and I do have a very, I did have a high pain tolerance. You grow that as the more pain that's inflicted on you, the more tolerance you get to it. So it's without getting too
I agree with that. I
crazy.
believe that.
So uh, yeah, it was just insane. Something else happened with the whip, and I was like, that would just
What's
yeah.
important? I mean, we got to have something we believe in, right? I mean,
I think belief systems have to be in line with the person, and I think you have to be aware of that not everybody's going to believe everything that you believe, and you have to honor that. You have to. That's what martial arts. That's why martial arts is so important with spirituality and belief systems of greater powers, because it binds the two together. Like, no martial art is the best. They're all good. Anyone who tells me one martial art is better than the other is lying to you, because they want your money. They're all good. What you got to do is you got to find the martial art that works for you. And if the spiritual belief system is in line with you, then you'll see, then you can become a master at it. If it's not, then you have to find something else. And it's okay. It's okay to try different stuff. It's totally fine.
Love it. I appreciate that. So, I mean, it's done you so good, right? And you've seen how it really works with other people. And so I thank you for sharing all your experiences and what you've been through, and uh, excited to see what happens moving forward now that you're in a new location and new energy, new inspiration, using that creativity and your inspiration from your nephews to see, continuing your journey. People should connect with you. Why should people connect with you, and where can they connect with you?
Um, I put all my links in one simple link, Linktree, linktr.ee/ Resilient
Linktree.
Reboot Productions. All my links are there.
Yeah.
I love simplicity.
Yeah, me too.
um, Look, I don't have all the answers for everybody. If you guys thought that something resonated with you, go there and just check out my stuff. And if it does resonate with you, I'd be more than happy to have another conversation, a deeper conversation with all of you, whoever. If you feel that I can help, let's have a conversation, because I can't help if I don't. I can't help you if you don't
Yeah.
communicate with me. So all my links are there.
Okay, I did put them here in. It seems like you have lots of your social medias: YouTube, Facebook, your podcast, Rumble, Discord.
Yeah,
So,
the Discord channel, I'm trying to grow the community
hey,
there.
you got to. Hey, you know that Web3's coming, so I get it. All that stuff's important, and we got to support each other. So that's why share that information. We all start somewhere. You may be here on this, but you're over here on that. So, no shame. We want to support and grow. And, again, if John's story and John's message resonates with you, connect with him. And, I'd love to see the community supporting each other in these kinds of ways. Okay, we did great. Any final questions? Drop them in the chat. We'll go back. We can always look. This is on YouTube, so we can share it. Please share if you're and let's see. I guess that's it. Thanks, John. I've had so much fun talking with you. I
Thank
didn't get
you.
I didn't get to do one thing though. I forgot to we had these Podfest questions. So I'm gonna ask you one just to kind of finish up this last minute. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Okay. This is fun because your name's John, and I had this one picked out from before. This is your question. If
Okay.
you had to pick a new name for yourself, what would your new name be?
Achilles.
Really? I love it. So easy. Why?
He is my avatar. He's not my avatar. He is my, he's the man that I look for when it comes to looking for inspiration to get through the hard times. I always ask, what would Achilles do within this situation? And he's my rock. Well, he's a rock. My dad's my rock, but he's a rock.
Awesome. That was quick. Great. I love that. Thank you so much. That was fun. I had to get one of these Podfest, Pod Deck questions out because that's where we met. And it was just really like awesome to kind of see you in passing and get to know and then connect afterwards. Okay, everyone, thank you for being here. Rosemary, thank you for hanging out with us for this conversation. Mackenzie, best mod ever. I did put the link tree, there it is, Resilient Reboot Productions. That's on your link tree. The information's there to contact John. And let's see, Andrew said he grew up Catholic. There is a mystery instilled with that upbringing. So, Andrew, you're funny. You got jokes, man. I like it. I like it. All right, friends. I guess I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna do my little let's see, outro, and away we go. It's a new outro, so we're gonna wave. Bye.
Bye.